Alrighty, folks, let's get on into the game. Hello, Okay, there we go. Thought there was some music. Hello, everybody. It's me, it's Mr. 79, on this glorious evening of January 23rd, 4th, 5th, January 26th, 2017, and we have a great ZvZ to help you start off your day. That's a lot of bass, isn't it? And, yeah, okay, as you can guess, it's probably a ZvZ. To help start off your day, spawning in the top left-hand position of Echo, representing our red Zerg player with a double extractor hatch and my heart. Or, you know what I meant, it is our friend SgtDuck, with a nice little happy Carbot Zergling star to represent his base. And his opponent, in the bottom right-hand corner of Echo, representing our blue Zerg player, it is lllllllllll. Or actually, that may just be a barcode. It's barcode! And yeah, you know what kind of game this is gonna be. Okay, SgtDuck already trying to do. Oh, what? Okay, we're all confused as to what SgtDuck is trying to do. It appears he wanted to steal this hatchery, and yeah, I have to side with barcode on this one. Okay, whatever you want to do, SgtDuck. I assume you have a good strategy in mind. You already started mining gas the same time as our barcode player, and canceled and made it into an evolution chamber. Oh, SgtDuck, I can tell this is going to be a great one. Spawning pool on the way, finally going to take this Logan hatch. Barcode saying it seems really bad, but you know what? The thing about your MMR stuff. Oh! Seeing some shade over here thrown out by SgtDuck. In case you haven't figured it out already, you know what? Is the volume too high? Hang on, 1 second. Stay immersed in the game. There we go. Stay immersed in the game. You're immersed in the game. You're immersed in the game. As you may have figured out already, this is a Grandmaster versus Diamond level game. Surprisingly enough. But I was told it was very good. I think. Actually, I was given no information about it. I hope it's really good. I don't know who sent it in. I don't know why they sent it in. Both players throwing some shade at each other. We're gonna have to see how this works out. So one of them is a Grandmaster, one of them is a Diamond. That is A-okay. I have seen worse people in Grandmaster. Banning this coming down for our friend Barcode. Speed on the way for both players. Hatcheries on the way for both players. Thankfully in the correct positions. Actually, what am I talking about? This hatchery is the correct position, especially for SgtDuck. And gonna try to take on this Evo Chamber with this drone. For some reason, they lose their health over time. Don't worry, and they can't attack. So Barcode may be being a little bit overprotective there. Actually, what can happen is that if he, okay, so as soon as the Evolution Chamber dies, Brooding is gonna pop out. So you definitely don't want to send Zerglings over there to attack it. Just let it die on its own, and let the Broodings die on their own. Let's see, 15 to 21 total workers. Yeah, that early aggression definitely showing its mark on SgtDuck's build. And it's actually, he has a decent amount of lings banked up. Gonna have to see what he wants to do with these lings. Probably be aggressive, because why the hell not? Oh, Brooding's gonna get the drone. Brooding's gonna get the drone. Drone can't run away fast enough for the Brooding, so they're gonna try to scratch him. No, they do explode before they have a chance to wreak vengeance on the drone. And actually, a huge link flood on the way, so gonna have to see what this evolves into. Ooh, and actually offensive banning for our friend Barcode. This is going to be very, very interesting. He's going to blow up all the drones at this mineral line. That tried every single one of them. However, in the meantime, Barcode is being... Ooh, I don't think he can this aggressive. There are a lot of links here. It is 17 links to 8. He nearly doubles them. This third base is definitely going to go down. Well, second base, but third base, you know. SgtDuck should not pull away from this fight whatsoever. And yes, he does trap Barcode in. Going to take out every last one of those links. And make his way on into this third base location. Surely gonna go down, but these banelings meanwhile waddling on in. Where is SgtDuck's attention? SgtDuck, he's not looking. He's not looking. He's not looking. He's still not looking. Oh, huge baneling connections do go off. Actually, not too many baneling shots. Yeah, only one building died. But a lot of these drones are weakened, so baneling's not doing the best job they could have. Well, that is A-okay, because this third base is probably going to go down for SgtDuck, which is going to solidify his position. So good play there from SgtDuck. Good use of that aggression, keeping it 2 base to 2 base. And actually, if you look at the army side, it's 22 to 14. So definitely can still keep on pushing, but I'm not certain. Especially since he doesn't have a Banix next to go. Well, he does. Okay, so Barcode is in a lot of trouble, is what I've been basically trying to say. He does ignore the queen for some reason. Gonna go ahead and force the engagement of these lings, and he needs to get some sort of sandwich off. It's very good play from both players, delaying the inevitable and both not delaying the inevitable at the same time. Gonna go ahead and lose a couple of lings for free here on this ramp. Now good play there from SgtDuck. Those lings are picking the perfect fight. And it looks like this space may go down. It's just gonna get focused down, I think. Yep, gonna get focused down, and now SgtDuck should run with the Zerglings between his legs. Alright, a very explosive way to start this game off. 2 bases to 1 base now. Let's see, 14 to 19 total workers, so SgtDuck definitely has a deficit in that regard. 20 to 15 total army supply though. Okay, that was a lot of things that died in case you didn't see. Baneling did a good job indeed, but defensive banelings are morphing on in, and you know what, this should be more than enough to hold this push. Let's see. Yes, he is joining up behind the SgtDuck with the great game sense, getting a nice baneling shot by himself. For himself. And, okay, did not, lost around 5 lings there for the baneling, definitely not too worth. And SgtDuck doing a good job droning up. He has good game sense, knows that right now that's all he needs to do. Splitting off 1 link to try and kill this baneling. And Barcode. Okay, Barcode is going to avert that baneling, only losing 1 link for a good trade for him. And sending out another baneling immediately is SgtDuck, because if at first you don't succeed, hope your opponent messes the crap up their micro. Does go down. Second hatchery, you're around 3/4 of the way complete for Barcode, or is it more correct to say 4th hatchery? I think 4th hatchery. Ooh, already got a good connection. Baneling trying to get in, and these 3 banelings are making their pills and stone, but are going to kill them, actually taking down some creep. So good move there by Barcode, however unintentional. SgtDuck can probably hold this ramp though, especially with the queens, especially with the banelings, especially with the reinforcements, and this is barely going to pop. Let's watch it pop. There we go. Isn't that a nice bit of catharsis? I don't know what that is, but it looks pretty cool. Alright, 22 to 22 total workers, 12 lings on the way for our friend SgtDuck. So SgtDuck, actually not in as amazing of a position as one may think. He is equal on the workers count, so definitely not in a bad position, but after that early aggression, you kind of want to be a little bit more ahead. Unfortunately, not the case for SgtDuck, but that's a-okay. Being able to very effectively box off Zerglings to fight those banelings, exactly the kind of macro you would expect to see from a competent Zerg player, and gonna actually get blocked and turned on the work one. Spits are not good! Spits are not good! Yeah, a lot of banelings! Well, a lot of Zerglings die there in exchange for 1 baneling, so good trade there by Barcode. Definitely has been getting those decent baneling connections, so SgtDuck definitely has to be on the careful side. And 3rd base already on the way for our friend Barcode. It is 12 to 20 total army supply, but 25 to 21 total workers, so I would say it's just about even, if not a slight economy advantage to our friend SgtDuck. Actually, just going to go for the ling run by. Send these lings over to the 3rd base location. Probably not, but ooh, gotta be careful of these banelings. Gonna cancel those. Actually canceling on top of the banelings. Let's see. High level. That's actually a pretty good trade. Not the best trade, but definitely a pretty good. Oh, speaking of good trades, hello mama. This just got a whole lot easier for our friend SgtDuck to defend against. However, there's still a decent amount of lings left over, but they're going to get cleaned up by these things unless the baneling hits. Yep, the baneling hits. Things then get cleaned up. Lings trickling out in reinforcements. As reinforcements, these things, however, making their way onto this base, queuing up the drone is madness so far in this game. It has been 4 to 6 workers killed, now 7 workers killed, so SgtDuck definitely falling behind in that regard. Gonna go ahead and surround these Zerglings with his newly hatched ones, and actually, weird rally point for these Zerglings, is it? Yeah, okay, they're both rallied over there, interestingly enough. Zerglings trying to do what work they can before getting chased away by the retailing Zerglings of our blue Zerg player. And you know what, folks? You know when it's a good game? When you're at the 8-minute 30-second mark, and the supply is 38 to 31. You know a lot of stuff has been happening. Anyways, 19 to 17 total workers, and you know what? Hold that thought, actually. Okay, never mind. You know what? It is 3 bases to 2 bases, but this game is such low economy. This is basically just a production hatchery. At this point, you are not going to be saturating drones on that base anytime soon. So, actually, I would give the slight advantage here to SgtDuck. Definitely going to be able to get those roaches out earlier, as well as those banelings. Definitely has a nice worker supply. I feel as though our Zerg players have problems droning up. Yeah, it feels like SgtDuck and Barcode both kind of were a bit too nervous at any point in the game to make a significant amount of drones. SgtDuck now making 2, but I don't know, there's been almost no workers on the production tab for a blue Zerg player, and these kind of 8-minute all-ins don't really, they don't really do wonders to your economy. But if your opponent is doing the same thing, I guess it is not too horrible, though you will not be getting ahead, you will just be not getting a lead. Baneling. Oh, nope, doesn't happen. Able to trade one Baneling for a damage on a Baneling and a couple of Lings. 2 Lings in to take care of this Baneling. There it goes. That was actually more in key than I thought. I'm proud of myself. Still no third base for our friend SgtDuck. Like I said, it doesn't matter, except if we only have 32 workers. Wow, 32 workers at the 10-minute mark. Folks, this is what the kind of timings you need to hit. Good Baneling there for our friend SgtDuck. Don't hit 32 drones at the 10-minute mark in a normal game. Just a quick PSA, covering my butt from the salt. Generally, this is not what happens. Lair coming off of our Blue Zerg player at 16 drones. Probably resources better spent on drones, but you know what? He can do whatever he wants. However, this army is never going to grow in size or in strength. Well, let me see. How do I explain this without calculus? If you do know calculus, the derivative of the derivative of this army is definitely constant. So, not a good thing. You generally want an increasing derivative for your army, but hold that thought. Baneling's in good connections. Again, our Blue Zerg player just taking horrible Baneling shots. Horrible. But our Red Zerg player, meanwhile, SgtDuck, not being able to take the best of engagements either. Still, there are a lot of leftover for our Blue Zerg player. Gonna go ahead and lose a couple of Banelings for a couple of Banelings in that regard. And now these Banelings look at this hatchery and sigh, sadly. Except they're Zerglings or Banelings, so they sigh with a kind of bulbous undertone. They're kind of like, or something like that. I don't know what noises Banelings make. If I did, I would swear to you I would make them. Gonna go ahead and trade out 2 Zerglings there for that Baneling. Pretty good move there for our friend SgtDuck. And our Blue Zerg player still does not make any workers. Okay, for all you legal of age folks at home, let's play a drinking game. Every time our Blue Zerg player does not make a drone, you take a shot. Try not to die of alcohol poisoning. Actually, let's make this game a little more sensical. For every 20 seconds that goes by in which our friend, the Blue Zerg player Barcode, does not make a drone, you take a shot and you rage on the Reddit forums. I will see you over there. Baneling morphing on in for our friend SgtDuck and just getting a solid roach base. And oh, the drinking game has come to an end. 8 drones on production for our friend Barcode. Gonna go ahead and see what it can do with these things. Actually, a decent amount. Gets a good surround on the queens and the roaches. Will it be able to take them out though? Maybe 1 roach, which is an okay-ish trade, but oh. Whoa. I know someone who wasn't looking at the supply. Oh man, I didn't realize how much of a discrepancy it was at. And despite all the salt from our Blue Zerg player Barcode, it seems as though SgtDuck, or rather, Barcode definitely knew when to throw out that GG well played. He knew he was out. He knew he hadn't been joining up and decided to wisely tap out of the game. There was Roach Tech for our friend SgtDuck. And, you know, he just had our whole army completely wiped out. I think, actually, yeah, you know what? Good play to SgtDuck. He definitely had some great defense. Definitely had the better Ling Bane control in this matchup, which is generally what it boils down to in the early game. If you can control your Lings and Banes better than your opponent. If I were Barcode, I may have considered just, you know, I had to make a drinking game out of his poor macro skills. I mean, that should pretty well illustrate how he's doing. I do need to know when to drone up, is basically the thing. For a Blue Zerg player, needed to know when to slam that D down and when to do it quickly, or when to do it appropriately. Alright, but shoulda, coulda, woulda is the story of Starcraft. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. It helps me out more than you may think. Subscribe for more daily Starcraft 2 content. Leave a comment down below. I was thinking of comment. Leave a comment down below if you're so inclined. You can email me your replays at mr79@outlook.com. And remember, folks, the internet could always use more heroes.